So to install the low flow basin, when we're done, the basin will look like it does here, where we have a convex shape to the bottom of the basin. We're going to have a 3-inch ADS pipe that's going to run around the inside circumference of the basin. Our plumbing will come in near the bottom. Our supply and flush line will come in near the bottom and then go vertical up through the center. It'll be filled with media with our low flow coil on top, and then it'll also be covered with media. The steps to do that is we're going to use a basin and a foot. We dig an excavation, again, 2 inches, at least 2 inches higher than our tank adapter elevation. We'll put this foot on the ground and place the basin right on top of it. And what you'll notice inside is you will now have a very slight convex shape or a dome shape inside the middle of the basin. Next, we want to install, we have 3 tank adapters, a 1.5 by 2-inch male adapter, and then 2 other specialty fittings that we provide in the kit. Use Teflon tape or pipe dope. Do not use any tools, just use hand strength to attach these adapters. And again, always go from the outside in. And you want to tighten these as far as you can by hand. It'll almost always seat, or there might be just a little bit of gap between the stop and the 2 fittings. And on the inside, you'll see that it's sticking through. We want to glue the plumbing that we've provided with the kit. There'll be 2 what I call internal plumbing pieces. And when you get these put in place, they're just kind of going to dangle there in the air, and that's fine. Just don't worry about doing any adjustments at this point. We do have a new version that we put together where the top pieces are going to look like this. We call them the arms, the horizontal pieces. They're 1-inch pipe that are about 12 inches long. They're dry fitted into the elbow, and the caps are dry fitted. And these are put in place so that when we put the grow stone or the media into the basin, we don't get any material in the plumbing. And so all you have to do is just leave these in the horizontal position as you see them here. And then the grow stone has a pour spout or a dump spout on the very bottom. And you want to place the media, what I call on the back side of the basin, not directly on top of the plumbing, but just let it run on the floor and let gravity take over, and just let it backfill around the tubing or the piping itself. The first bag will fulfill the tank about maybe 2/3 full. Just dump it out completely, level off roughly. The second bag we're going to have to do in lifts, where we're going to fill this basin to the bottom of the top rib, and we'll have to get that fairly level. And what it'll look like when we're done is, again, it'll just be backfilled to the very top of the bottom of the top rib. And we want to try keeping any grow stone out of the top rib for right now. We're going to have to remove the arms, the dry fitted arms out of the plumbing. We're going to put the bracket on top, and then we'll have to glue in the arms to the internal plumbing and then into the manifolds. Now you'll notice on these we zip tie the manifolds to the bracket. They do not have to stay zip tied when you do the installation. You can cut the zip ties off. Be careful not to disturb any of the tubing or slice it with a knife. And they can kind of come out at slight angles, but you should be able to glue your arms straight into your elbows and then into the manifolds, and everything will just kind of lay real flat right on top of the tubing like this. Once the plumbing is glued and connected, we're going to want to fill in the gaps with some more grow stone, and just cover all the tubing with a shallow layer of grow stone. Once we've got the coil completely covered, we're going to put the childproof mesh over the top. And you'll notice that we don't have any aggregates now in the upper rib yet, because what we're going to do is tuck this childproof mesh into the upper rib, and this is just meant to keep inadvertent access to a minimum. If a child wants to play on top of this thing and move some gravel around, they'll only be able to go down to the mesh. They won't be able to physically touch the tubing. Although if we do need to get into the unit, the aggregate can be taken off and this mesh removed and replaced after any repairs or things are taken care of. So once the mesh is installed, we'll put a little bit more aggregate over the top. And it will be important that you kind of hand pack the aggregates into the upper rib here to compact that mesh down. And this aggregate will settle in. We've got these square ribs, and over the next week or two or three, this media will settle a little bit. So we want to make sure that we mound up extra media on top so that it's just there on site in case, it'll always stay covered. And so when we're done, the unit looks, basically like this. The grow stone, the media, again, it's recycled glass that's heated, air is injected to it, and they create a pumice stone. Once it cools, it creates a pumice stone. It has about an 87% void volume. Uh, the aggregate itself actually has pores that go all the way through, so we will get not only treatment on the surface of the media, but also in the internal portions of the media as well. Much better than just a standard rock type media.